Good morning. We have a new feature inside of HighLevel that I'm super excited to touch on is countdown timers. So first things first, in order to find your countdown timers, it is not currently in labs, it is actually live. Head over here to your marketing tab, and then right in the center, you can see your countdown timers option. So let's go ahead and just start creating. And then once we kind of get into the nitty gritty, I'll explain all the different options and the settings, how to customize, how to install them different places. So first, you do have a number of templates that you can use over here. So those are available. They are fairly easy to customize. Let's actually use one that's got a little more to it. Looks a little different than our standard. So when you go ahead and select your template and choose your hey, do this template, I always start with naming it. So I always name these like tester, whatever it is, tester countdown. And then we'll do this, whoops, as a recurring. Okay, so if you are familiar with HighLevel and the countdown timers inside of the pages, the funnel pages, this is going to be extremely similar. Your fixed is going to be that fixed timer. You're going to tell it, hey, you're going to end September 30th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then when you're done, you're going to redirect to this page. So fixed is just that single, you set the time, date and time that it ends, and it's going to count down, and then it's done. Recurring is a little bit different because it creates a loop. So if you have something like, let's say, you have a masterclass every single week or a coaching call every single week, you could set this to go ahead and reset itself once it expires. So you can see you can set the timer start date here. I'll just leave that as today. And let's say I want to set this for 3 days and 12 hours from now. I would go ahead and type that in here. And then in 3 days and 12 hours, this thing is going to start right back over to where it started from. And it's going to start counting down to the next 3 day and 12-hour time segment. And then when you put in your loop events, that's just going to be how many occurrences does this happen for. Okay, scrolling. Well, let's touch on dynamic really quick. Dynamic is not here yet, but this is where you're going to be able to pull in that kind of functionality similar to deadline funnels, where you'll be able to give each individual user their own countdown based on actions they're taking. So this would be one of those where, hey, they're new to your email list. You say, thanks, welcome so much. Here is a special offer for 50% off my signature program, but it's only for 72 hours. They would be able to see this timer and it would say 72 hours for them. Let's say 2 days later, they're at 12 hours. And then guess what? Someone else new comes in. They're going to start back over at 72 hours. So it's going to be user specific once this dynamic timer does actually release. We're going to go ahead and just roll with the recurring because that's what we have in there right now. These settings are going to be extremely similar. You can see recurring just has the loop events, countdown duration. Okay, so active timer leads to link. And then don't forget to set your time zone, please. Active timer leads to link. This is essentially going to allow you to point them somewhere if they click on the timer. So while this timer is still counting down, where does it go when they click on it? Because one thing very important to know with these new countdown timers, you are not limited to websites and funnel pages with these timers. You can add these into your emails as well. Expired timer leads to link. So this is kind of like that redirect that we've already had. When this timer expires, where do they go? What is going to happen after that? So that's kind of the overview of your general settings area. When you come into styling, this is where you're going to be able to kind of tweak the way it actually looks, match your branding, all that good stuff. So we're just going to pick a couple different things here. I'm not sure why these aren't labeled. That kind of bugs me if I'm being perfectly honest, but we'll roll with it. That's okay. Okay, this is, of course, your color options. I'm just going to pick a couple randoms here. That would be decent together. Beautiful. Okay, background color. For this purpose, I am going to make that transparent because I just want the circle without that white square. We'll see if that works because I can see it's this transparent background coming soon. right? Expiration image URL. So what this is if you're putting this, especially inside of an email, you could even use it on your funnel pages, honestly, but this is going to allow that countdown timer to switch to an image once it expires. So if you've ever seen those emails that have like a timer and it has like, sorry, this offer is expired across it, or it's just grayed out, or whatever you want that to look like when that timer reaches 0 is the image URL you're going to put in here. I highly recommend just uploading it to your media library, right-clicking, copying the link, and popping it in here, or you can always upload directly. All right, once that is done, we'll go ahead and save this. Again, I have a feeling that's not going to work for the background, so we'll just go ahead and switch it back to white. And then you're going to have a couple options once you actually save this. There, it's saved. You can see here, you can countdown timer redirection link. I don't have that redirection link pasted in here, which is why it's not going anywhere. So let's just say federalmembers.com/contact. Let's do, okay. Go ahead and save. So if I go ahead and countdown timer redirection link, I copy that, it's quite literally going to send me to, hey, this is where I'm supposed to go. It's still active, so that's not actually going to work to where I set it to go, but that's what's going to happen. If I want to put it into a page like this, you have to copy the custom code. I don't know if this is going to be changed in the future, but if I come over here, sites, funnels, that's not what I wanted. Let's get into the tester page. And there's a couple different ways you can kind of pop these into your sites, funnels, wherever you're using them. I already kind of have one in here. So if I just add a new element, you'll see over here we have countdown timers as a new option. You can see it's set to September 29th. It's recurring. Okay, this is a big one. If you drag it in like this, it's going to look like your normal timer. The times are going to match, but I have noticed that it doesn't pull in any of the styling from the countdown timer if you just drag and drop in that countdown timer element. On the other hand, if you go ahead and enter a custom code element and then paste that code that we copied inside of that custom code element, we'll save, publish, and then we'll take a look. Okay, so you can see, obviously, I didn't really do any formatting here. You can see here, that's the one we drug and dropped into the page from that kind of countdown timer element area. This is our custom code. So in order to keep the styling that you set inside of your funnel pages, you do have to insert the custom code. Now, I had mentioned that this is not the only way you can use these timers. So let's take a look at what it would look like to use this inside an email. We'll just go ahead and use this one. Okay, so if we want to go ahead and add this into an email, you can go ahead and drag the new countdown timer element in. Load here in a second, and then you just select whichever timer you want to put in there. However, you can also do it via code as well. So again, you have both of those options where you can go ahead and paste. And you'll get that countdown timer as well. So 2 ways you can go about it. But when this is actually delivered inside of the email, it's going to look just like that for all of your users. And then it actually does function. So you can see if I hover, I have my little clicker. And it's going to bring me right here to this page until that timer expires, which in this circumstance, because it's recurring for so many occurrences, it's going to be days in the future. But that is your deep dive on how to use the new countdown timers inside of HighLevel.